Lee Cronin dropped his take on The Mummy this weekend, and there's been a lot of hype around it. What's usually a treasure hunt adventure has been flipped into an over-the-top horror experience. Something that'll be a delight for some viewers and a straight-up nightmare for others. Welcome to the Grab Some Popcorn podcast. I'm your host, Jared, and today I'm bringing you a solo movie review. By the way, this review is spoiler-free. Let's get into a quick plot breakdown. The movie takes place in Cairo, Egypt, where a journalist's daughter mysteriously disappears, only to be found 8 years later inside an ancient sarcophagus. And honestly, it doesn't take a genius to see where this is going. If you've seen one possession movie, you've probably seen this story before. Once she's found, she's reunited with her family, but this is anything but a harmonious reunion. As they search for answers, it becomes clear something followed her back, and whatever is inside her starts to tear the family apart from the inside out. Alright, let's get into the strengths of this movie. I think the story is written well enough to stay entertaining. There were moments where I genuinely enjoyed the way the mystery unfolded and how they pieced everything together. Without spoiling anything, there's a particular way the father gets the investigation moving that actually caught me off guard. I didn't see it coming, and I thought that it was a pretty cool touch on the movie. Performance-wise, there aren't any standout award-level performances here, but the father is definitely the strongest part of the film. He carries most of the emotional weight and keeps things grounded when everything else starts to get a little chaotic. And while I wouldn't call the movie scary, there are some solid tense moments sprinkled throughout. It's not consistent, but when it leans into the suspense instead of shock value, it does work. The supporting actors are also fine. Nothing amazing, but nothing that pulls you out of the movie either. I can't say that I have a favorite scene from this movie, but there is a pedicure scene that's pretty gruesome. Alright, now let's get into the weaknesses because this is where the movie really starts to fall apart for me. First off, this movie is just messy. You've got family drama, possession horror, and this ancient mummy curse all happening at once, but none of it really comes together in a cohesive way. It feels like the movie is just juggling too many ideas and never fully commits to any of them. And then there's the pacing. It honestly is hard to get invested in these characters because everything happens so fast. The emotional moments don't have time to breathe, so when things start going left, you're not fully locked in. Think about the movie as like Amityville Horror. That movie takes its time. You see the father slowly unravel, he becomes more distant, more aggressive, and even his appearance changes over time. It's a gradual descent, and that's what makes it effective. But in The Mummy, all that progression feels rushed, especially once the daughter gets back home. The movie starts off like it's building towards something, but then the mill just speeds through all of the development. And what's crazy is the movie is over 2 hours long, so it actually had time to flesh these things out. Instead, it feels like they chose to focus more on the gore and the shock value, and for me, that's just another weakness. The horror isn't really scary, it's just more abrasive. It's loud, it's in your face, but it doesn't really stick with you in a meaningful way. Overall, I'm giving Lee Cronin's The Mummy a mummified 6 out of 10. This movie clearly pulls inspiration from horror and possession films that come before it, but the issue is it doesn't really take the time to let those ideas breathe the way those movies did. Instead, it leans more into intensity and shock value, and while that might work for some viewers, it definitely won't work for everyone. I will say though, the ending was solid. It wrapped things up in a way that actually worked for me, and I've always been a fan of a movie that can stick the landing. That final impression goes a long way, and in this case, it's probably what I'll remember the most. Alright y'all, that's all I got for this review. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the review. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.